All guests, please clear the aisles. The clerk will unlock the machine and take the roll. Members will record their presence by pressing the green button. Has every member recorded their presence? Has every member recorded their presence? Clerk, lock the machine. We have 71 representatives present. There is a quorum. All rise for the invocation to be delivered by Representative Slater, who will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Representative Slater.
Gracious God, we thank you for giving us this new day. Please continue to open our eyes and our hearts to those who are suffering around us. Help us to care for the poor, the sick, the disenfranchised. By caring for those less fortunate, we will always remain on a path to righteousness. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic. Is there any objection to the approval of the journal of the previous day? Hearing none, so ordered. This afternoon, we have the honor of having some very special guests with us, one in particular, as well as his entire beautiful family. So we're going to go to announcements and introductions. Chairman Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a House resolution for immediate consideration to be left on the desk for additional signatures.
Send it up, please, Chairman. And proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I am honored today to welcome a famous person to the Rhode Island House of Representatives. Dorian Murray, who turned 8 years old on January the 5th, just 2 days after my birthday, is from Westerly, Rhode Island. And he's traveled today to the State House with his parents, Chris and Melissa Murray, as well as many friends and family members. Many of you have read or seen news stories about Dorian's heroic battle with a very rare form of cancer. And he recently stopped his chemotherapy sessions. He wants to spend more time with his friends and his family. Earlier this year, Dorian told his father, Chris, that there was something he really wanted before he goes to heaven. He said, I want to be famous in China because they have that bridge. Of course, he was referring to the Great Wall of China. And soon, there were people from China that were posting photos with this famous hashtag, #DStrong, that we have on our desk today. And I told Dorian earlier this afternoon, I had a chance to go to the Great Wall of China in November. And this was before he told his dad this. Because had I known, I would have been the first one to hold a sign up for Dorian over on the Great Wall of China. And it's too late to Photoshop that now. So now, Dorian, he's known throughout the world. There are photos and signs that have appeared in Australia, in Italy, Syria, Brazil, Germany, and Singapore, and at the Grand Canyon, at NASA, and so many other places around the world. Rob Gronkowski, Gronk, paid him a visit, and I asked Dorian if Gronk was a little bit taller than he is, and he said, of course he is. He's so tall. He's probably 2.5 times as tall as Dorian is. But he visited Dorian last week, and he gave him an autographed football. And on Saturday, the Patriots honored Dorian, gave him a limo ride with his family to the stadium, placed him in a luxury box, and Dorian got to watch a wonderful football game with the Patriots winning. And everyone in the crowd at the stadium stood to once again show and honor Dee Strong. This past weekend in Westerly, another great event. A crowd of thousands of people gathered at Misquamicut Beach to honor Dorian. And they did a fantastic overhead photo where they used a drone with people lined up with the hashtag #DStrong. Another way to honor Dorian and to show how much courage that he has shown and the fame that he has always wanted. So I ask you to join me today, before we read the resolution, to welcome Dorian Murray, a young man who has fought a long and hard journey and has had an amazing fight in which he has never given up. I want to have everyone welcome Dorian and his parents, and today let's make him an honorary member of the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Chairman. Dorian, it's a pleasure and an honor to have met you earlier today and to have you in the House chamber. Is Senator Algier here? I want to thank Senator Dennis Algier, the minority leader in the Senate, and Chairman Brian Kennedy for arranging to have Dorian come to the State House. As we work to serve the public, we need heroic examples and leadership figures to guide us. And I cannot think of a better example for us to follow as we adopt policies to serve our constituents than Dorian. I met him this afternoon very briefly, and he's a very charismatic young man, a very loving young man, and someone that brought a smile to the face of everybody that was in that room. I want to acknowledge my wife, Marianne, that came to meet Dorian. I want to recognize, and she's probably not going to appreciate this, but my dear friend Barbara Manny and her daughter Cassie Manny. We were actually in North Conway this weekend, and we know that Dorian wanted to be famous worldwide, so they stayed up late at night and made a sign for Dorian, read his hashtag, his logo, #DStrong. And we took a picture in North Conway in front of the mountains and posted it on Facebook. That was in North Conway, New Hampshire, and he touched our hearts and the hearts of that community, I can tell you, Dorian. He's touched the heart of everyone in this room, of everyone in this state, to everyone in this nation and across the world. Dorian, you have accomplished more in 8 years than most people that I know that have had 90 years. You are an example that we're all proud of, and I will keep you in my heart and in my mind as we move forward. That's the impact that you have had on the world in your 8 years. You're full of courage, love, respect, decency, and everything that I can see that is good. Our love is with you, Dorian. Thank you for coming to the House of Representatives and honoring us. That's more than any one of us deserve. Thank you. And Dorian, I know that blue's your favorite color. So tonight, the lights at the top of the State House are going to be illuminated in blue. And that was done through the assistance of all the representatives in this room, myself, the Senate President, the Senators, Senator Algier, Chairman Kennedy, and Governor Raimondo. All of those folks came together to light the top of the State House blue for you tonight. We're going to have Capitol TV take pictures, videotape it, and it will be delivered at your house by lunchtime tomorrow so you can see how nice it looks. Is that okay? You are a remarkable young man. Our love is with you, Dorian. Thank you very much. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dorian, Mr. and Mrs. Murray, thank you for being here and sharing your family with us. Dorian, it is noted in the Bible that out of the mouth of babes, a child will lead this world. You are an example of pulling not only the state of Rhode Island together, but the entire country. You did it, Dorian. You did it. The power of one little one. And I am ecstatic, happy to know that I am part of this journey with you. Because I don't know if I will live long enough to see someone else come by and pull it together as good as you did. You got it going on. Look at it. Everybody in this chamber has got a smile on and have been good to each other because of you. Have agreed because of you. Are standing together because of you. And I thank you for that moment of joy that I have to share with you in your journey and your family and friends in this chamber. It's not only the state of Rhode Island, like I said, the entire world, you pulled it together. Thank you oh so very, very much.
We're going to proceed with doing a House resolution, and then I'm going to ask Dorian and his family to come up because we have some gifts for him. And I know that All of the representatives would like to acknowledge him one more time. Chairman Kennedy moves House Resolution proclaiming Wednesday, January 20th, 2016 as D. Strong Day in honor of Dorian Murray. That is seconded by Leader DeSimone, Leader Newberry, Deputy Speaker Leamer, and the entire House of Representatives. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Resolution prevails. Clerk, please read and leave on the desk for signatures.
House Resolution proclaiming Wednesday, January 20th, 2016 as #DStrong Day in the honor of Dorian Murray. Whereas Dorian Murray is the beautiful and bright 8-year-old son of Chris and Melissa Murray and a resident of the town of Westerly. And whereas at a time in life when most young boys are thinking of nothing more than playing with friends, Dorian was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, a rare cancer that has spread to his spinal fluid and brain. And whereas for some people that diagnosis may well have limited their joyful life or their ambitions, not so for Dorian. With a strength that belies his youth and the optimism of a pure heart, Dorian lives his life with gusto and courage. And whereas without missing a step or holding back, Dorian has big dreams and plans. He has gone to Disney World, met with Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski, and wants to be famous in China. He has succeeded beyond all expectations and has become a worldwide sensation with #DStrong signs and postings popping up on the Great Wall of China and numerous other locations across that nation, as well as Australia, Italy, Syria, Brazil, Germany, Singapore, and France. And within the United States at the Maryland NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Gold Canyon, Arizona, California, and Florida. And whereas Dorian Murray's determination in the face of adversity is inspirational, his spirit makes him a joy to be around, and he is ultimately worthy of our recognition and admiration. Now, therefore, be it resolved, this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations hereby proclaims Wednesday, January 20th, 2016 as #DStrong Day in honor of Dorian Murray. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Dorian Murray and family.
Thank you, Clerk. Earlier today, I've indicated my dear friend Barbara Manny, and she's a very caring person. She makes logos for cancer cures. She made Dorian his own logo, put it on 2 T-shirts. One is on a big teddy bear that she gave to Dorian, and the other one is for Dorian. Now, if Dorian can come up with his parents, and we have some additional gifts for him. Mind coming up, Dorian, or we can bring them to you if you like? All right, we'll bring them to you. We have a Rhode Island state flag. We have some House of Representatives pins, some rooster pins, and some speaker pens. So... picture and send it to Dorian tomorrow. Okay, Dorian, I have one more treat for you. Remember how I said all those people came together to light the State House blue tonight for you? Well, one of the important people that helped do that was Governor Gina Raimondo, and she's here to say hello to you. Governor Raimondo.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, guys. So, Dorian, we hear your favorite color is blue. Yeah, is that right? You're gorgeous, by the way. You're a beautiful little boy, and you're brave, and we are so proud of you, and we're all here for you. And so we did light the State House blue as a show of our love and the fact that we're all right there with you. And I've got a little present for you, which I'm going to bring to you, and of course we put it in a blue bag, make you smile. And I brought down a proclamation from the governor's office, which, in a blue folder, whereas from the Misquamicut Beach to the Great Wall of China, Dorian Murray is an inspiration worldwide for his determination. Whereas Dorian, a courageous 8-year-old resident of Westerly, Rhode Island, in the face of great challenges and with the encouragement of his family, has achieved his dream of becoming famous. Whereas Dorian's star shines bright on social media as the hashtag #DStrong movement has been recognized by many people far and wide. Whereas in honor of Dorian, our State House dome will be lit blue on January 20th, 2016. I, Gina Raimondo, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, join my colleagues in the General Assembly to proclaim January 20th as DStrong Day in the state and encourage all citizens to continue to use social media to spread Dorian's DStrong message and recognize the inspirational power of coming together as a community to support each other in times of need. We're proud of you, Dorian, and we're all here for you. Thank you. And to your family, we're proud of you, too.
Just go give it to him. Why don't me and you hold one of these up? Picture. Thank you, Governor. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, thank you. Dorian, Leader Algier just came back to see you, and I think he got taken away on business. Melissa, Chris, Dorian, you have a beautiful family. Thank you for sharing Dorian with us today. And I think I can fairly say that we all love Dorian and your family. Thank you. You're all beautiful. Just want to recognize Senator Dennis Algier. Welcome to the House of Representatives. Thank you. Leader, thank you for helping put this together. A beautiful thing. Okay, now, on to the business of the people. Next order of business is new business. Representative Carson with new business, Representative Tanzi with new business, Representative Canaria with new business, Representative Ucci with new business, Representative Williams with new business, Representative McLaughlin with new business, Representative Malik with new business, Representative Corvasi with new business, Representative Bennett with new business, Whip Edwards with new business, Representative Abney with new business. Any other new business? Representative Maldonado with new business. Any other new business? I'm delaying going to the calendar because our chairman, who has an item on the calendar, is with Dorian, which is far more important than the next bill we're going to call. The next order of business is the calendar. Clerk, please read the first item on today's calendar.
Item number 1, number 7044.
Chairman Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a bill that comes to us from Representative Natalillo, and it's an act to vacate the forfeiture or revocation of the charter of Michelli Construction and Roofing, Inc. I move passage.
Chairman Kennedy moves passage. That is seconded by Leader Newberry. Representative Casey. Representative Kazarian. There are no lights. Clerk, unlock the machine. All in favor, please vote red, green. Those opposed, red. Clerk, lock the machine. 65 in favor, 0 opposed. The act prevails. That concludes the calendar. Any other announcements and introductions? Chairman McNamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request, please.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to respectfully request that we adjourn in the memory of Florence M. DeSlandis. She was a mother of 3 sons, Joe, Jack, and Jimmy, and she will be greatly missed. Longtime resident of the Dryden Heights section of Warwick, and her family is certainly in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We certainly will, Chairman. Thank you. Chairman Azenaro.
Thank you, Speaker. Request for adjournment.
Proceed.
I'd like to adjourn today in the memory of Deborah Fellicaro. Deb was a nurse. She fulfilled a lifelong dream by founding the Pregnancy Center of Westerly at the Immaculate Conception Church. She directed the center, counseled women in crisis, and performed free ultrasounds at the Mother of Life Center in Providence. Deb tirelessly worked for the cause of the unborn until the day she passed. She will be sadly missed by her family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. We will. Leader DeSimone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have an introduction and an announcement, please.
Proceed on both.
First of all, I'd like to welcome George Paz Campo, who's sitting to my right. He's a student at the Excellent Year Up program. George is a graduate of Cranston West, and he will soon begin an internship at Beacon Mutual. He's accompanied by George Nee of the AFL-CIO, a big supporter of the Year Up program. George, welcome to the House.
Welcome to the House. It was a pleasure to meet you earlier, and you could not have a better mentor. So thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Mr. Speaker, in an announcement, as I said yesterday, we have a training session for members to learn about Nexus Lexis. It's the online version of Rhode Island laws. It will be held in our chamber at the Rise today, and members will find LexisNexis helpful in conducting research. Also for lawyers, I believe it's a CLE credit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Whip Edwards.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd like to be counted in the affirmative on the previous item number 1.
You may, so ordered. Representative Morgan.
Thank you, Speaker. Can I be marked in the affirmative on item 1? And I also have new business.
You may, so ordered. Representative Morgan with new business. Representative Diaz.
Request for announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
The House Committee on Health, Education and Welfare is meeting at the Rise, room 101.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May it be marked as the affirmative in number 1?
You may, so ordered. Chairman Gallison.
Announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
The House Committee on Finance will be meeting at the Rise in room 35. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Any further announcements or introductions? Chairman Craven.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Adjournment, please.
Proceed.
A resident of Wickford, a constituent of mine, someone I've known since the early 80s, Jim Brown, passed away on January 10th at the age of 91. He was a World War II Navy veteran and an aviator until his retirement in 1967. He retired as a commander from the United States Navy. He also served 2 years on the North Kingstown School Committee and 16 years on the North Kingstown Town Council. I remember remarking to him one time when I was a prosecutor that you don't get 16 years for committing serious felonies, and yet you got 16 years on the Town Council in North Kingstown. But Commander Brown leaves behind his partner of 20 years, Betty, his children, Mark, Robert, Cameron, and several other grandchildren. He'll be sorely missed, not only by the town of North Kingstown, by those who knew him as a sailor on the bay. As I went to his memorial ceremony the other day, they said they don't make guys like him anymore, and I believe that to be true. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Is there any objection to transmitting all matters on the clerk's desk to Her Excellency the Governor, the Honorable Senate, or the Secretary of State forthwith? Hearing none, so ordered. Any further announcements or introductions? Leader DeSimone moves that the House adjourn in memory of Commander James B. Brown, Deborah Falacaro, Florence M. Deslandes. Motion is seconded by Leader Newberry. All those in favor, please stand for a moment of silence. The House stands adjourned.